Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network tonight. As you can see, we are at the Bristol Motor Speedway, the world's the last great Coliseum here in Tennessee, and this is the stage for race number 13 here in the regular season for the Core Xfinity Series presented by Elwood Designs. We'll take a look real quick at these standings coming in because it's coming down to the last three races here. We got tonight and then two more before we head to the playoffs. So through the first 12 races, the Platinum Division is all set already. They already know who's going to be their 5 drivers going into the playoffs, that being Elwood, Montgomery, Garcia, Therian, and Scioli, and all 5 of them carrying at least one win and some bonus points as well. Over in the Gold Division, only one winner in there. He's got 2 of them. AJ Roderick is pretty much locked in there. You got Tyler Skozen, Justin Munsell, Davey Hendricks, and Bronson Stafford. Currently your top 5, but you see Stafford and Sullivan actually tied on points. Stafford holds the tiebreaker right now. Stoneman only 2 more points back. Very, very close. In the silver, it is Erickson, Nobinger, Van Wessen, Hines, and Crockett, but Bramble not too far behind. It could certainly make up those points before this regular season's over. And then in the bronze, it is Cruz, Phelps, Crane, Thomas, and Gainey currently, but Gainey only 3 points ahead of Orduna. So a lot can happen here in these last 3 races, and it's certainly going to. We're in the midst of what we dubbed the gauntlet here in the season, and it's tough for these drivers to get it done. But here tonight at Bristol, the small little confines here, the half-mile concrete jungle of Bristol Motor Speedway is going to be the site for tonight's race. Carl Lamb, we're joined in the booth by Jimmy Cover. Jimmy, obviously this holds a little special place in your heart.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of short tracks, Carl, but when I first started iRacing, I was about a week and a half in. I'm closing in on 2 weeks, and I got my very first win here in the ARCA car. So it was a lot of fun. I met some people online. As a matter of fact, when you race so many races over and over again, even in officials, you run into the same people. So there's some real good people that when you actually won, they congratulated you. So it was a great time, and so it holds a special place in my heart. It is fast. And actually, I still don't mind driving this track today. Matter of fact, if it's out this official this week, I might even get out there just for some throwbacks. But until then, we're going to see what these drivers can do here tonight, and I'm looking forward to it.
They are gridding up on the track right now. So while we're getting there going, Jimmy, why don't you give us a rundown of tonight's starting order?
Yeah, quick rundown of tonight's starting order. It's going to be Clayton Montgomery on the pole here tonight in that number 7 with Shane Theory on the outside. Nico Garcia will be in on the second row with Kevin Foster in that number 8. I know the fans are happy about that one. Jeff Ryan pulls in a good time there for P number 5. Kelly Pointer in 6th. Tommy Ryan's in 7th. Bronson Stafford in 8th. AJ Roderick's in 9th. Jack Stoneman's in 10th. Dayton Drummond's Alan Elwood all the way back in 12th spot. Something has telling me maybe he scraped a wall trying to push it here tonight. Josh Van Westen in 13th. Tyler Bramble in 14th. Welcome back, Tyler. Joe Sullivan in 15th. Joey Cruz 16th. Tyler Skozen in 17th. And Dan Phelps in 18th. And the rest of the field here will be in 19th will be Matt Crockett with Matt Deason. Back there in row number 10. Louis Orduna and John Nobinger will make up row number 11. Tater Bowman and John Crane in row number 12. And then Justin Munsell, Jason Higginbottom, and Joseph Thomas and Jeremy Gainey for a 28-car field. A few drivers with no times on the clock here tonight to start, but we got a long one here.
Yeah, it's going to be Clayton Montgomery on the front row here with Shane Theory, and then we'll see who's going to get the better of everyone. But this is certainly one where you kind of need to survive for a little bit here. You got to let this thing play out a little bit. Certainly it can have some green flag running, but it's a short track, and it's high banked, it's high speed, and it can be high drama and high intensity and pretty much everything else you can think of here, because there's a lot on the line. It's not just a regular season race. It's deep into this regular season right now. It's getting close to playoff time. Some drivers on the bubble, just above, just below, got to start making their moves. And then, of course, those drivers that are already maybe even locked into the playoffs want that win to get themselves some bonus points for that first round of the playoffs as well. But the pace car lights are off, and he's going to head that thing down into pit lane here And in just a moment, we'll get this thing underway. I want to thank everybody out there for tuning in. And if you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. We got some exciting news on the horizon. That's going to be coming up here pretty soon. Don't have all the details yet, so stay tuned in the next few races, next few weeks, and we'll get you abreast of everything that we got coming up to CRN. But green flag is being waved by Barney. We are racing here at Bristol.
Yeah, we at Bristol, wait for the cars to come around. We're going to be too wide. There's going to be a lot of racing side by side, high line, low line, as long as they stay off that apron. And we haven't talked about it yet, but it's going to be a big controversy if they can get that far. Green flag pit stops. Yeah,
it's definitely tricky here. This track has 2 pit roads, and that's what they're going to be using here tonight. Dual pit road action here at Bristol, and you have to make sure you're entering at the correct spot. It seems simple enough, seems easy enough, but if you enter at the in the wrong, the wrong pit stalls there, the wrong straightaway, it could give you a black flag, and it could give you a time penalty. So it's going to get very interesting here when it comes to penalties, even if it's under yellow flag conditions. So pitting is very, very, very important here. And under green, you're going to be losing a bunch of time as well. I mean, Jimmy, you're losing probably, what, 2, maybe even 3 laps under green flag conditions, even if you're up in front.
Yeah, you go a lot of laps down, so it is very important, and I would not be surprised for drivers to push the limit on their field tonight and not being the first ones to go in. Obviously, tires are going to be huge, as you can really burn them off here on this concrete surface, but if they can manage these tires and they can stay out a long time, I think a half a tank, it was somewhere around 60 or like 60, 65 laps, Carl.
And we may see our first caution. Indeed, we do. Look like Joey Cruz came off of the corner, and I don't know if he got a little loose or what the case was. We'll take a look at it again here. But came right across the nose of Tyler Scotia. Just happened to be at the right spot, the right time for the camera view. Maybe not so much for the drivers involved, but we'll take a look at the incident again. And we'll slow it down coming off of the corner here, off of turn number 4, and you see we're just a little bit loose for that 28. Try to correct it, but the 55 is already right there, and the 28 gets hooked down into the wall. Don't like too much damage, if any, to the 55 of Skozen. Definitely a little bit worse for wear for the 28. Not too bad. I mean, if there's ever a place that damage doesn't matter as much, certainly it's short tracks and Bristol here, but you do want to keep that thing pointing in the right direction as much as possible.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing, and you obviously don't want to hit the walls too hard, end up blowing that motor, and then you'll have all kinds of issues, and you'll be down power, and then it becomes an issue. Now the sliding around and doing the 360, massive wear and tear on them tires, and tires are very, 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 very important here. So we'll see how they can come back from that, especially Cruz.
Trying to take a look and see. Oh, that's a 98, not the 28. Trying to take a look and see where Joey Cruz. There it is. The 028 looks like he did use his fast repair. That thing looks all kinds of clean once again on the Helga's Angel number 028 and back up in the field. But at the front of the pack, it is Clayton Montgomery leading the way here. Nico Garcia moved himself into second place. Shane Therian, Jeff Ryan, and Kelly Pointer for your top 5. And I did hear a little bit of maybe a surprise in your voice, and you got to say it, Jeff Ryan ahead of Tommy Ryan here tonight.
Yeah, just a little bit. Not used to seeing Jeff in front of Tommy, but maybe this is one of Jeff's favorite tracks. You never know. Jeff's always a good competitor out there, and it's good to see him up front.
Well, pace car lights are out. We're going to get this thing back underway here in a second. Again, Montgomery, Garcia, Therian, Ryan, Jeff Ryan, that is, and Kelly Pointer for your top 5. Then you got Foster slipping back here a little bit in the early going. Stafford, Tommy Ryan, Stoneman, and Elwood for your top 10. But I do got to say, Jimmy, one thing that I noticed right off the bat here is it almost just seems like 2 distinct lines right from the get-go here. Even when they started to stretch out and the single file racing, there was pretty much a high line and a low line, and you kind of went where the car felt better for you.
Yeah, you can run both. And obviously, I think early on with newer tires, lower is preferred, and then you'll probably see most people run up highs. That's where I think most of the speed is. I'm not. I wish I knew 100% to say to the fans out there how you can save tires, but I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm right with you on that one. It's a mystery to me how some of these drivers can turn the speeds that they do while saving some tires. But this is what happens on a restart here. Everybody's bunched back up. Looks like Foster will be scraping the wall there a little bit in the 8, but everybody keeps going here. But 2x2 here at Bristol at the speeds that they're running, it's tough. And we'll get the track map. There we go, track map up there and running. But more importantly, we'll show you the dashboard and show you that they're getting up there in the high 130s on the straightaways and really down in the 110s. It doesn't seem like much compared to the speeds that these cars can do, but on this little half-mile track and these tight little quarters, it feels like you're hanging on and you're white knuckling it the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, and then you'll see some of these drivers really ride that high line in through the corners, and that's what's going to be. It's quite impressive for the guys that have, I call it cojones, get up there and believe that your car is not going to touch them. You want to see another wreck there down the front stretch.
Look like AJ Roderick spinning, and that will bring in the yellow man. I'll tell you what, the camera crew is on point here tonight. We were on board with Joe Sullivan for this one and got to see AJ Roderick spin directly in front of him after seeing the last one with Tyler Skozen and Joey Cruz, but you got to see this one right up front and personal here. We'll take a look at it again, see exactly what happened here. And this one again coming off of turn number 4, and another car getting loose coming off the corner. The 56 not even having any kind of help, just gets sideways. Looks like Stafford and Sullivan easily make it through, but some hard impact there. The hood coming up and off of the 56 of AJ Roderick, and gonna bring us under our second caution here. But I mean, both times now it's been off of turn number 4. It's been the cars getting a little bit loose on about maybe 5 lap tires, so maybe just not getting heated up enough and getting enough grip.
It could be the issue, or just getting on the throttle a little early. You get anxious with these short tracks, and especially with the high bank and wanting to get in the throttle. You'd be surprised how long you can just let that car roll and make sure it's going in the full right direction before you get on that gas, and where that car is going to grip and change the weight and distribution of the car, and ends up pushing it outside and it sends you around. So they really got to be careful on where they get on the throttle. Maybe it was too late when he got on the throttle, or too late, or too soon. I mean, there's all kinds of options. I don't know. I'm not out there. I'm not in the car. What kind of happened? But to me, it just looks like maybe a little throttle mismanagement there, trying to get the grip and just not there.
Either way, it's going to give these drivers a chance to breathe here a little bit again. 175 laps on tap here tonight. Long race here at Bristol, but already completing 20 laps this time by. So it's going to click by quickly here, even under caution. These laps are going to run by pretty quickly, but I think a lot of these drivers, they're kind of going one way or the other. They're wanting to get up there and kind of treat it like a super speedway, get in front of potentially any issues that are happening, and then some others like Munsell back here, where I certainly don't think he's got last place pace. I think he's maybe back here. Actually, just realizing now he's actually 6 laps down, so not sure what happened to Munsell in the beginning here, if he had some computer issues or not. But we're going to double this thing back up, and once again it's going to be Clayton Montgomery going to lead these boys to green. Nico Garcia going to be on the outside as well.
Yeah, I just listened to the drivers talking a little bit back and forth here. I got them in my other ear. Actually, they're talking over me, but it's okay. But Montgomery looking good up front so far, with Garcia on the outside. Therian obviously sitting there in third. Jeff Ryan riding it out right there.
Flag waving once again from Barney up in the stand, and we're going to get this thing back underway. Blake Montgomery leads him onto the backstretch, and I'm almost afraid to keep it on any one driver too long, because of all the incidents we've seen happen right in front of our eyes. But you see this gaggle of cars right here as Stafford Ryan and Elwood trying to make some passes on the outside. Elwood already up into the top 5, so whatever happened during the little excursion of qualifying, he's starting to rectify that. He's up 7 spots already, up into 5th. Joe Sullivan, another one that's moved up 4 places since the start of this race, utilizing that high line and trying to get things done. Tyler Skozen also up 4 places, and he's been kind of glued to that bottom. So it's just kind of, you know, to each their own, whichever one feels better right now. But you got to get into a little bit of a green flag run here, I think, just to see what these drivers can do on the long run and see how much his tires get used. See Skozen slipping up there a little bit. It's right at that time. We've been green for a few laps now, right about in the house of time where the tires seem to want to break a little bit loose on that back end. So yeah, again, not sure if it's, you know, cold tires, fresh tires, just not getting that grip, or maybe utilizing them a little bit too quickly, especially that right rear coming off the turn number 4. But either way, we are green here at Bristol, and not for long. Another incident. That was a pretty big one there, involving Joe Sullivan. And man, it looks like maybe turn number 4 claiming yet another victim here. We'll take a look back and see what happened. Goes up to the top and actually getting a little bit of help from, I think, a bit of net code there. We'll take a look at that one more time. But Josh Van Westen coming up there just about, yeah, they were 3 wide going through the corner, but you see right there, about a foot of net code in between the 121 and the 76, and you hate to see that, but it's what can happen when you have close quarters racing like this. Hard impact into the outside wall. Somehow Tyler Skozen gets on by, and Dan Phelps, and it looks like Joey Cruz just a little bit of a bump, but Orduna gives him a pretty good shot, and the back end right there as he's straightening out. But it's going to bring us under another caution, and what this is doing is it's really shifting up the order here as some drivers coming into the pits, certainly the ones involved coming in, getting some repairs done. But even some of the drivers at the front, you see Kevin Foster in and out of pit road here and rejoining the field, but just coming in and topping off the fuel and kind of just switching things up here as he'll go to the back of the pack. Looks like he's going to start around P20 on this restart. So the man that started up there in 4th and one of the best qualifying efforts I think he's had, and maybe the best all season for the Gold Division driver, trying to get himself up there and back in the mix in the Gold Division. Came into tonight 196 points behind the Gold Division leader AJ Roderick, but more importantly, he was 92 behind Bronson Stafford in 5th place in that bubble. So that's really what he's gonna get his eyes on and try and figure out a way to reel them in here before these last 3 races kick him out of the playoffs. But we'll get this thing back going green here once again here in a bit, but I want to send a thank you out in the meantime, if I can talk without coughing here, to our series sponsor, and that is going to be Elwood Designs, as they've been making custom liveries for the iRacing community since 2012, specializing in the NASCAR class vehicles. They can offer designs on various other options within the service. If you're looking to make your own livery but don't have the time to make your own base design, you can purchase Elwood Design bases at simratmarket.com, and you can find Elwood Design online on Facebook or on X. And yeah, once again, thank them for their sponsorship here in the Core Xfinity series. We're going to get this thing back under green one more time. Hopefully these right rear and turn 4 demons can finally just go away for a little bit. But once again, on the front row, Montgomery and Garcia will lead them back to green. Got the Ryans lined up behind, right behind each other. There is Jeff Ryan has got Tommy Ryan right behind him on the outside. On the inside there, the 9 of Shane Therian sticking around in 3rd. The 5 of Alan Elwood trying to get up there in the mix as well. And this track can certainly, it can be fun if you've got a good feel for it, if you can handle both lanes, because you have to use both. I mean, you can feel comfortable at the bottom, you can feel comfortable at the top, but you're going to have to move around to make these passes, and you know, depending on who you're trying to get around, you're going to have to get a feel for everything out there.
Yeah, I mean,
and again, I'm just going to turn the cameras off at this point. I mean, again, we've seen it happen right there as Jeff Ryan and I believe it was Alan Elwood getting together. We'll take a look at that one more time here. And it looks like we have some more action towards the back as well.
Yeah, people checking up, trying not to get involved. Obviously, when smoke goes in the air that far up, everybody's going to try to react. Everything is so fast here. You're going to have a huge pile up just like that, but it looked like Alan Elwood just had just a nose. And I don't think Jeff got the little bit of warning, but nice even bump there. And an even slap to the wall, so... But it looks like he might have made out okay. We see drivers taking evasive action. Somebody got in the back of Joe, unless that was from the previous.
Yeah, we're rewinding here a little bit and see what happened to Sullivan. It looked like, yeah, he got a shot there from the 216 of Joe Thomas.
Yeah.
Pretty good shot. And then I believe Jeremy Gainey might have been involved as well, or maybe he just took some evasive action here. Went down to the bottom. Yeah, right there, he just kind of locked it up. But it'll take us under another caution here, and we'll shake things up here a little bit again. A few more drivers coming into pit lane, but still have a lot that have yet to come into the pits. Now, I know it's been, you know, maybe not that many laps under green, so maybe the tires aren't that bad out there, Jimmy, but we still got, you know, out of the top 16, 15 of them have yet to come down to pit road, and only Joey Cruz in 11th right now has come down pit road to get some fuel and just going to top off here a little bit. But are you thinking that maybe track position is more important right now than change up your pit road strategy?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're obviously, you know, taking track position pretty important right now. Obviously, this one here happened up towards the front, so that's why you see a lot of people checking up. And then, you know, if you gotta, like, it's hard when you're out there. You're going so fast. You're focused on so many different things as a driver, and you're thinking about pit strategy all in amongst them going around this track at 130 miles an hour, and 15 seconds to get around here. So there's a lot to do, and if you're not paying attention to the next corner, you can really catch yourself up into what's going on. So you're looking in your rearview mirror. So there's all kinds of things these drivers got to go with, and I know a lot of times we get to slow it down. We're like, oh, he did this. Well, maybe he was thinking something else because it's just he does that much time and not be able to react. But we're gonna get back on the green here as Clayton Montgomery starts back off here with Nico Garcia on the outside. Clayton Montgomery's gonna take the lead again here. Get back out front. So it's Clayton Montgomery, Nico Garcia, Shane Theory, and Alan Elwood up front. Tommy Ryan is making his way up front as well as underneath Jack Stoneman as he makes his way up, or trying to take over at P number 5.
Yes, we're going to battle in here with the 66 Tommy Ryan on the inside, battling with the 25 Jack Stoneman on the outside. And I think Stoneman's another one that would certainly like a good finish here. He's been out of the series for a little bit, but he's not out of it. Not out of the series, but out of the mix at the front with these Gold Series drivers. And you know how crazy it was at the beginning of the season with the Gold Series drivers. It seemed like the silver and bronze were doing better than the gold, so it kind of really shook up the standings in the beginning and maybe didn't put them that far out. But we certainly know Stoneman's got a little bit more speed and a little bit more grit than he's got right now. Taking the lead there over Tommy Ryan and moving himself into the top 5, puts him as the top running Gold Series driver right now at the moment. But he's got to worry about that bubble. He comes in 2 points behind the bubble, and it looks like we're going to have another caution here on the track.
39 and 95. 95.
Yeah, it looks like this one involving Tyler Bramble and Tater Ballman. Here. This is another turn 4 incident, but this time I think it was maybe a little bit of Bowman coming down off the corner, a little bit of Tyler Bramble coming up off the corner, and they just lock into each other. and both of them taking a pretty hard impact to the inside wall there. Luckily for everyone else, it was only them involved. I mean, a little bit of shot right there, John on John crime right there as Rain gets into the back of the 19 here tonight of John Nobinger, as Nobinger forced to run the 19 as someone else joined in the session here tonight, took his number before he got in here. So that's the only reason he's running the 19 here tonight. But it's going to bring us under another caution here, and I mean, it's music to the ears of the guys at the front. They're going to stay out there even more, and certainly music to the man that just went by there, as Munsell is going to get one of his 5 laps back, and don't count him out just yet. I mean, you know, he's still 4 laps down, but gets one of the laps back right there, and the way this is trending right now, it's a bit of a caution fest to start here for these first 50 laps, so you know, not even halfway yet. He's still got a chance to get back on the lead lap and still get some points under his belt. But we do see a new leader at the front, and that is Nico Garcia. He was able to get out there and get ahead of Clayton Montgomery here. We'll try and take a look back here. I'm trying to find exactly where the pass got made before the caution, and right here it is as Nico Garcia sends it in on the high side, gets a good run through the corner, gets out in front, and at that point, it's just keeping that car out in front for her when that caution flag comes out. He was able to clear Clayton Montgomery. Caution ends up coming out, and that will give him the control here for this restart, as same front row, just swapping sides here. Nico Garcia now on the inside, Clayton Montgomery on the outside. You got Elwood moving himself up to 4th now on the outside of Shane Therian, Stoneman and Stafford in the next row, and then you got Tommy Ryan and Kelly Pointer. Good to see Kelly back out here as well in 8th place. Ben Wesson and Drummond's going to round out your top 10, but the 88 of Nico Garcia is going to control them and head him back to green, coming off of turn number 4 as he's back on the lap pedal.
Third of 73 of Orduna will be heading down to the pits here. I don't know if you got a black flag or what, but he's going to be coming through. Slowing down here this time by. That was over the radio. But up front right now, it's Nico Garcia out front trying to hold on there. And then you see Shane Therian trying to battle, but going back here, back to Matt Deason. Battling here in P number 18, right behind Jeremy Gainey and Kevin Foster as he watches the battle of cars, as the mayhem, as I call it. This is like the battlefield.
Oh, and another one gets shot down to the inside.
Maybe we should just ride on board with Kevin.
What was that? Was that Kevin that got involved there? I did see a car shoot to the inside. I think it was John Crane on this one.
Another caution here. So, it's Bristol, baby. That's all I can say. I mean, it happens. It's just so fast. And a shot there. John Crane probably checking up a little sooner than Tater Bowman thought he would. Give him a little nudge. It's going to send him into the wall. Bowman in the wall and Crane around. Crane's going to... He hit somebody. My camera didn't catch that.
I've seen somebody shoot down to the inside wall. Trying to see who that was. If it was
a Snowbinger.
No, I thought it was a white car. That's why I thought maybe you were right with Kevin Foster, but it was not Foster.
No, it was in front of Kevin. What? No. He has been DQ.
We'll take a look back through here and see if we can find it. But in the meantime, we'll get you back live here and get you back up front. But we are now past 50 laps, still not halfway in this race, so we still got plenty of racing yet to go, and still not seen all 10 of the top 10 come into pit lane as Matt Crockett now moves himself up into that top 10. He's up 9 spots after starting back there in 19th. But a lot of other drivers have come down and taken at least one pit stop, mainly to get fuel, but a fuel in there and taking some tires. And Jimmy, I gotta say, they got 2 sets of tires in there. This isn't, I don't think, a bad play, taking a set of tires around this point right here, just in case it does end up going green. Or even if it doesn't, I mean, you got some fresh tires, you're working your way up through the field. You figure if you got 2 sets, you take one around lap 50 or another one around, you know, lap 125 maybe, you know, to get to that last 50 is not exactly a bad thing to do. But you never know how these races play out. I mean, we've seen a bunch of cautions here in the first 55 laps. Maybe it goes caution-free now to the end. So it's so tough. Strategy, week in and week out, is one of the biggest things, and sometimes it's tougher than the competitors out there on the track is trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's definitely makes things very, very interesting.
So we're gonna have a 3 wide start here as 3 wants to get to the inside.
He wants his chance to lead a lap. Gotta get back there, gotta earn it.
Well, we're gonna get this thing back underway. Nico Garcia again gonna be the control car here on the restart, and would love to grab win number 2 here to help with some bonus points heading into the playoffs. But we're gonna be a green off of turn number 4, back to racing here at Bristol, heading off into turn number 1. I mean, maybe we just keep the camera on Barney. I don't think Barney can have a wreck out there in the field. He's the one that throws the yellow. But it seems like no matter where we go, no matter what camera we show, ends up being a wreck on camera. But trying to show you as much racing action as possible as we take you back through the field and show you these drivers trying to work their way up through. Tyler Skozen was one of the cars that came down to pit road on lap number 29, trying to work his way back up through the field. He's got AJ Roderick right behind him, as Roderick qualified pretty good up there, but then had that early miscue, sliding it off of turn number 4, one of the victims early on here. Kevin Foster back a little further in the pack after pitting here under this last caution, back in 17th position, and just maybe biding his time like Kevin Foster a lot of times does. But out front, it is everyone, Jason and Nico Garcia, but you gotta watch out for that 5 battling now and taking over 3rd place from Shane Therian.
Yeah, it's you know, obviously the battle here, you keep going back and forth. Shane trying to use that inside line, and you can see how well that outside just gets going. And what happened basically being down the inside, and we've seen it kind of falter for some people because they go to the inside and they think they can drift out. They cannot, because there's usually a car alongside. So the outside car will have the momentum off the corner.
And 2. Oh, wow. At one point there, the net code actually paid off nicely there as Gainey went inside of Stafford, and now Drummond's trying to get down to the bottom of the track, causing a little bit more issues, but he will get it down to the bottom of the track, trying to lift that thing back into pit road. I believe it looked like he got some pretty heavy damage, but out front it is Nico Garcia, then Elwood, Montgomery, Therian, and Tommy Ryan for the top 5. Stoneman, Pointer, Van Westen, Rocket, and Cruz for your top 10, as they're certainly back underway here, and a lot of them jockeying around for position. But Jimmy, you're starting to see the high line work up a little bit higher, and you're starting to see those guys testing out those wall limits.
Yeah, and I had no doubt in my mind that's where the driver's going to go. It happens here in Bristol all the time, and you know, you get your fresh tires, and you get that low line just works. I mean, it just works and feels good. And then as the tires kind of wear on, the low line kind of goes away. It doesn't have the speed. You see Tommy there having a little bit of an issue trying to get the grip down, trying to take away that spot from Jack Stone, and we see even back there a little bit farther. We got AJ Roderick down the inside trying to get around
Joey Cruz on the outside there.
Cruz, excuse me. Her check up here, bottom.
Oh, and that is Alan Elwood. That is Alan Elwood getting involved in this one, where he's down off the track. Looks like there's not going to be any caution for this one. Didn't see what happened.
Out of the meatball, along with the Drummonds, they both have meatballs. Are they blowing motors, Carl?
That is a good question here. We'll try and take a look back and see what might have happened here. I know Elwood was close to the wall a couple times, and right there, brushing the wall, and yeah, right there, blows the motor coming off the corner. So I know he was very close to the wall a couple times, and maybe that wall is starting to reach out and kick some people in the teeth.
Spark plugs.
Yeah, I mean, we've certainly seen the wall do all kinds of damage to certain cars, but I don't think I've ever seen, you know, cars brush the wall and get a get a blown engine like that. That's kind of crazy. But that is a huge impact. Granted, Elwood comes in and really is just looking for wins at this point to kind of pad his lead and his bonus points heading into the playoffs. Already 4 wins on the season. It seemed like they're coming back out on track after towing in there, but he's certainly down right now. 3 laps as he's going to try and work his way back up through here. And if there's one person he certainly can't count out, it's that 5 and out. We'll see what he does if he can keep this motor in there, as that was one heck of a faster period to change a motor that quick, Jimmy.
I mean, the power of the faster pair, and a lot of drivers love it. And have Shane coming down. No ball for him. It's just a normal stop. So maybe coming down here, take a green flag stop, and maybe take some tires and refresh up on fuel, as we are getting to that point. 76 laps. Was that his first stop? So.
It was his first stop of the race, and here's where it gets a little interesting for these drivers that didn't stop. Now they're coming down the pit road, and you're going to see how far Therian is going to drop through this order. Already down there, and already down 1 lap, about to go down 2 laps, and could get very close to 3 laps down here before he gets out there and rejoins the field. And it's the risk that you take staying out there under these caution laps when you could be coming in there and essentially getting a free pit stop, just to at least stop off and see how far you can get into this race. Because I mean, these guys again haven't pit yet, already coming up on lap number 79, so you could be looking at maybe 2 pit stops for the guys that haven't pit yet. Maybe only 1 for some of these guys that have already come down and at least topped off at some point or another. They may be able to make it on just 1 more pit stop. That's going to be a huge advantage for the rest of this race.
We're looking right around that 75 lap time frame. Let's see. Anybody else that did not pit?
There's a lot of drivers that haven't pit yet. I mean, the top 4 right now. Nico Garcia, Stoneman, Ryan, and Pointer have not pit. You got Josh Van Westen, Clayton Montgomery. Looking back a little further, Matt Crockett, Matt Deason have not yet pit. Same with Tyler Bramble back there. So a lot of drivers have yet to come down pit road, and it's going to get very interesting here, but already getting close to that halfway, and we're going to be at halfway this time by. So, I mean, you're looking probably at 1 more pit stop for majority of this field. Now, granted, these drivers that haven't pit yet and made it this far have done it utilizing some of these cautions, and well, quite a few cautions in the first half of this race. So, how much fuel are you actually burning under green flag? Is it close to 75? If it is, you ain't making it to the end. Is it closer to 85? You may make it to the end, and you don't want to do that if you're Nico Garcia. You see what happened to your teammate. Exactly. Let's keep that thing off the wall. I know you want to try and run fast, and the high line sometimes all the way up to the wall is fast, but oh boy, I mean, I'd be on the horn with my teammate trying to figure out if he did anything kind of weird that put him in that situation. But we got a battle for second back here. Tommy Ryan to the inside of Jack Stallman.
Yeah, Tommy Ryan just he was laying back just a little bit, Carl. I mean, obviously he's never been a huge. He's always been fast. He's super consistent, but he shows his strength when these races start going like long green, and that's when we start seeing Tommy Ryan go to basically come to life. Obviously, we know Tommy from UCRL, and they run full tanks of fuel, so they would run here at Bristol a full tank before they would even think about that stop.
Yeah, that 175 laps, they could probably make that on 1 tank.
and they would make the tires last. So
yeah, it makes no sense.
Some of those, I don't know how, because you get out there and you're like, after 20 laps, you're like, man, these tires are done. 150 laps later, they're still going, And obviously the times come down, but, you'd be sitting down there in the 17-second, 18 seconds. But new tires are king here. The 88 of Nico Garcia coming down here on lap 89. So that definitely puts them in the window to make it the rest of the way. Now is this the call? So we will see how far they fall back as Garcia and Pointer will come in. So it could be an undercut here. Tommy Ryan coming down as well.
And if you're wondering what corner, one lit a fire under Bronson Stafford. Well, his pit crew did. He pit on lap 53 and took one of those sets of tires. That's why he is running some very quick laps right now. That's why he ran down Tommy Ryan and was about to get around Nico Garcia before Garcia dived down into pit lane. But still got a few drivers that have yet to come down pit road. Jack Stoneman's out there in second place. Ben Weston, Montgomery back there in 5th and 6th have yet to come in, and same thing for Bramble and Beeson back there in 12th and 13th yet to come down pit road. But you see what happens when you do. Look at all those drivers that are at least one lap down, if not more. The highest running driver that was towards the front, Shane Therian, back there in 16th, only one lap down. So good job to at least be up that far. But you see he is ahead of his teammate of Nico Garcia right now as Matt Deason comes into pit lane. But you see right here, Shane Therian in front of this little battle is 11 of John Crane up there in the wall, bouncing off a little bit. But Shane utilizing not only the short pit, but also looks like the only right side tires for the 9. He's got out here and trying to run down the top guys here, really trying to run away from everybody else behind him. But right now it is Bronson Stafford still out front. It's still in second place, and just maybe he forgot to bring a pit crew to the race here. The 25 of Jack Stoneman, there we go. We just had to show him on camera. Now he will finally drop down and take it into pit lane. Looks like Josh Van Weston going to do so, and right behind him, Clayton Montgomery going to do the same thing as he comes down into pit road, and Matt Crockett gets sideways there on the front stretch. Gonna save it and get it back up there on track, but out front it is the 61 of Bronson Stafford, and second place, utilizing all those yellow flag pit stops, 56 of AJ Roderick.
AJ's like, come on, caution.
He was love this here right now.
The top 15, let's see, you got 14 drivers, basically, 7 cars on the lead lap, and then all the way back to 14th place right now, 1 lap down. So the guys that are just 1 lap down, they're in a safe spot if a caution were to come out. Those guys 2 laps down, they'd still be a lap down. And the leaders would have fresh tires.
Well, now what you see is some of these leaders previously coming in and taking tires as Nominger into the wall. Looks like a no blow motor for Nominger, but you're seeing how much these guys that stayed out there now are getting run over a bit, as Nico Garcia did get around Shane Therian, starting to work his way back up through this field. You see how quickly he runs up on the back of these drivers. He's got Tommy Ryan right behind him, so he can't really blink at all, as Ryan trying to thread needles here, and we have got a yellow flag. This is pivotal time here for these drivers that stayed out. One's trying to work their way back up through the field. Looks like Garcia is going to get the lucky dog, but the other ones that are 1 lap down, and even some of the drivers that are even more than 1 lap down, you see Clayton Montgomery 2 down. They're going to have to take the wave around. They're going to be off strategy for sure. Take a look and see what happened here to bring out this yellow, and see smoke ahead already. It looks like Matt Crockett down there on the bottom, but it looks like Gainey coming down off the corner a little bit across Josh Van Weston's nose, and then heavy impact onto the inside, and Crockett, after saving it multiple times, gets a little tail slap, and looks like Tyler Bramble gives a big shot there to Jeremy Gainey, as the rest of the field trying to work their way through, and it's like Stoneman just getting on through. But that is some big impact for some of these drivers. But how about the break for some of your favorites? Like Kevin Foster was one of the cars that was still out there, did not come in there for what ended up being his last pit stop. He's going to be out there and have a chance at a very good race right now. Bronson Stafford was your leader coming in. He's going to be your leader coming back out for the drivers that came into the pits this time by. Nico Garcia currently shown as your race leader, but I'm pretty sure he's going to have to give those positions back and head to the back of the field here after getting the lucky dog. So it should be Bronson Stafford as your leader. We'll wait and see what happens, but you see all the cars queued up in front of him. waiting to get that wave around and get ready to get this thing back underway as they're going to be way back there. And yeah, you see
Pointer, Montgomery, Cruz, Thiessen, Van Weston, Jeff Ryan, all one lap down. If they're in front of that 61, you just find those drivers back on the lead lap. And then the other drivers, 2 laps down, should get at least 1 lap back. So Crockett, Elwood, Crane, Bramble will be 2 laps down. They'll be 1 lap down. Oh, Crane's going 3 because he was involved there again. And then Phelps, Munsell, Gainey, Drummond's, Bowman, Orduna, Higginbottom for your 28 drivers. But yeah, those drivers 1 lap down should get back on the lead lap. They'll just be on the back, and then obviously not getting a chance to get new tires or fuel, but hopefully they are good to go until maybe another caution flies, and then the other drivers will be 1 lap down. But look who is able to put 1 lap down will be Mr. Alan Elwood. So if he can make it back from 3 laps down, it's all about timing.
We're about to see a restart here as the field rejoining here behind the pace car. It is Bronson Stafford on the front row with A.J. Roderick, Pim Foster, Tyler Scosa making up that second row. Joe Sullivan involved in so much early on here. He is in 5th place. And John Nominger right there in 6th as we're going to go back to green flag racing here. Really, really untimely caution for some of these drivers out here, and very, very nice for some of these other drivers, as now Stafford, the lone Canadian, is out front.
Making his way around here, doing a good job right now, and obviously getting the brake there, getting fresh tires, you should be able to hold on. But you got Stafford, Roderick, Scosen, Foster, Sullivan. So the top 5 all gold members, and you have to go all the way back to 6th place for Nico Garcia there, back in P number 6. And the 7th is Tommy Orion, then Shane Therian. John Nominger working his way up there in the top 10, as a silver driver, and Stone and Pointer back there around peak number 10. So a lot of good fighting going on. Top 8 are currently on the lead lap, and caution comes up.
Looks like Matt Deason involved in this one, and that's certainly going to be a break for some of these drivers. If any of these leaders come into the pit, that's the thing. I mean, all these drivers that are 1 lap down right now, they don't need, I mean, all these drivers that are on the lead lap, they don't need to come in again. And it would behoove them not to, as, you know, they're going to trap all those drivers 1 lap down. I mean, right now, you stay out here, even if you get a couple more cautions, you're probably looking at a walk-away top 10.
Yeah, I mean, top 8 on the lead lap. So, as long as one of the drivers stay out, everybody's going to stay a lap down.
Looks like Therian getting involved in that one, as Deason just gets a little bit maybe jumpy on the throttle mid-corner there, and spins that 50 around. We'll take you back live here and give you a bit of a rundown through the order. You got Bronson Stafford out front, A.J. Roderick, Tyler Scosen, Kevin Foster, Joe Sullivan, your top 5. We got a few of those drivers up front coming into pit lane. Tommy Ryan coming in, getting some service. John Nominger is up there. I was going to say, I thought he was on the lead lap. He is. He's in 7th place. Nico Garcia now can rejoin this field and be on the lead lap as well. He had a restart at the back after getting the lucky dog there. Shane Therian would have been lucky dog. Looks like he is going to get the lucky dog as well. He was kind of involved, but it all depends on when they made contact and if they were technically involved in the wreck or not, if they get that lucky dog. But he did get the lucky dog, so he's going to join his teammate there in 9th. Only 9 cars on this lead lap, and they get to pass all these lap cars. A lot of cars they just got done battling, you know, for actual position. They get to pass them and be a full lap ahead of everybody here, including right there. You see the 5 of Alan Elwood, 2 laps down still in this race. He's the first one 2 laps down, but that doesn't help him at all when he's got a ton of cars that are 1 lap down, so his chances of getting the lucky dog are very, very slim.
Yeah, tough break for the 5. We see Nominger waiting for, I don't know, being a Crane waiting to let the cars go by. Is it a short track, so nobody gets a black flag here at Bristol.
We're about ready to get this thing back underway, and it looks like we're going to have a bit of a delay here, making sure everybody is in the right positions. That's I think a good call by the admins here to just take some time here. We still got 60 laps to go once we take this thing back to green. It'll actually be 59 laps to go once we get green. We'll take one more lap here under caution. And once again, go through the running order here for the top 10. Bronson Stafford, AJ Roderick, Kevin Foster, Tyler Scozen, and Joe Sullivan for the top 5. Tommy Ryan, Nico Garcia, Shane Therian, John Nomier, and Jack Stoneman for the top 10. Montgomery, Pointer, Thomas, Ben Weston, and Cruz for your top 15. And then you got Jeff Ryan, Elwood, Bramble, Crockett, and Deason for the top 20. Still got 24 cars out there and running. Looks like we lost Dalton Drummond. He'll finish 25th. Tater Bowman going to finish 26th, and Luis Arduna going to finish in 27th. But pace car lights are out. Once again, we are going to get this thing fired off here and run these last 59 laps here at Bristol. We had a nice green flag run in the interim there from about halfway on, but we'll see what they can do for the end of this race. Stafford back on the loud pedal. We are racing again here at Bristol.
Yeah, racing around here in Bristol, and yeah, it's a lot of fun here. So to see the drivers having a pretty decent race, Carl. I mean, obviously maybe it's a few more cautions than normal, but a lot of battling back and forth, and it's close. And even drivers getting too close to the wall, pulling knocks down the meatballs.
Yeah, first time we've seen. Maybe there was a fan on the wall, and got tired of seeing that 5 up front. And, just stuck a hammer through the wall and tapped the front end of that 5 that we didn't see, but. I'd never seen a wall-blown engine like that, from a little rush, but it can happen, apparently, and you want to stay off it as much as possible. But Bronson Stafford trying to stay away from everybody right now, but he's got AJ Roderick all over his backside, looking to be the only driver. Well, actually, he is already the only driver in the gold to get a win, but looking to get his 3rd win on the season and prove that on more than just the super speedways here. He won back-to-back earlier this year, but looking to try and do it here on the short track here of Bristol. But he's got a lot of hungry competitors behind him, and he's got Bronson Stafford in front of him, but side by side back here for the top 5. Kevin Foster to the high side, and on the bottom, Tommy Ryan's going to get it done now. Foster's going to have to battle with Shane Therian, who's trying to move his way back up through this field. Has the 9 already back up to 6th. Foster getting a little squirrely coming off the corner there. He's going to lose a few more positions as he's going to drop now back behind Sullivan and Stoneman, not 4 positions. Stoneman is your first car 1 lap down and looking to just maintain that position, but he's got just a couple cars behind him. The 7 of Clayton Montgomery. This is your battle for the lucky dog. And Jimmy, at this point, given the yellow situation here, this is as big a battle as it is for the lead right now between Stoneman and Clayton Montgomery.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would say if you're in the lucky dog spot, you're wondering where that guy's at. Like, am I still safe here? Because it's difficult to get all the way around here, especially at Bristol. Unlap yourself. You're not up front, so you're kind of riding top middle and trying to get around here, but obviously just trying to keep it clean and hopefully catch that caution. But Scozen getting loose.
What a save by Scozen, save of the race by far, and unbelievable awareness from the drivers to split him on the inside and the outside. I mean, how often do you see a guy get sideways and the drivers go to the bottom or they go to the top? Here they had to go both just to get around, and that was insane.
Yeah, Tommy Ryan and Shane Therian doing an outstanding job missing that one for sure. As they're in a battle here for themselves here for P number 4. Therian going down to the inside, and Tommy's got that high side going. So here's what we're talking about. We're off the corner. Obviously, the 9's going to get the drive in, and then 66 will get the drive out.
The 66 Tommy Ryan has got a little bit older tires as Therian coming in there on lap 112. Got those freshies on there and certainly making them to good use right now. Nico Garcia, the same thing right in front of him. He's got fresh tires on there, hunting for that lead once again. He's right behind his teammate, AJ Roderick, and trying to put the pressure on here. He is not too far from the leader, Bronson Stafford, as well. Stafford hasn't been able to check out with that clean air. He's only got a 0.3 of a second lead over this little battle right here. But man, I mean, these cautions and really the caution right around the halfway point mark has really thrown this thing into chaos. And you see again, only 9 cars on the lead lap, but Nobinger bringing up that 9th position. Stoneman and Montgomery back here locked in a very close battle. Montgomery right behind Stoneman, yet as Stoneman trying to put a car in between him and Montgomery. A little slip up there is going to let Montgomery close in on the battle. Again, the reason this is big is lucky dog positioning. The first car that is 1 lap down, as long as they're not involved in the incident, if a yellow comes out, they'll get that lap back, and they'll get back on to the lead lap with everyone else. So this is a very, very big, important position here on track for 10th place overall. But right now, everyone still chasing Bronson Stafford, but AJ Roderick has got some company now on the inside. Nico Garcia sticks his nose inside the 56 here, trying to battle off the corner, very close off of turn number 4 there, as we are down to 40 laps to go.
And just like that, the blink of an eye, the laps go bye-bye. So, Garcia's going to go ahead and take that P2 away from AJ Roderick. Slide him back to the 3rd. Shane Therian sitting in 4th. Tommy Ryan's in 5th. Then Joe Sullivan, Skozen, Foster, Nobinger, Stoneman for your top 10. Montgomery, Pointer, Ryan, Cruz, Van Weston, Thomas, Elwood, Bramble, Crockett, Easton for your top 5.
Side by side now back here for 10th position. The lucky dog spot on the line if a caution were to come out. So Stoneman does not want to give this position up. Blake Montgomery has been reeling him in lap after lap, and now I think a little bit of battling between Skozen and Sullivan maybe wore out the tires here of the 25 just a little bit. But heck of a battle here as Stoneman going to hold off the 7 for the time being. We'll take a look back a little further, and plenty of action back in the pack here as Bramble and Crockett side by side. There's a battle for 18th and 19th here on the track. Certainly got to give it up to our top running drivers right now. Bronson Stafford leading the race as a Gold Division driver. 2nd place is your highest running Platinum, Nico Garcia. Highest running Silver is John Nobinger in 9th. And then highest running Bronze is Joey Cruz in 14th, as got very close right there. And Munsell, I think, got into the wall there a little bit as he's going to go ahead and make the pass now on the number 39, but this is not for position. Munsell started off this race, I'm not sure if he had computer issues or what the case was, but he started off 5 or 6 laps down, got back to 3 laps down at this point, and really not too far off the top 20 position. So, I mean, no matter what the case was, you got to just try and stick it out and hope that things work out for you, and certainly got a bunch of cautions to help him get back up there a little bit, some Tyrese as well, helping him move up the position. So, it is what it is. Sometimes you just get dealt a bad hand, but he's out there sticking it out, trying to see what he can do in that 98 here tonight. But at the front, it is still Bronson Stafford, but that 88 is getting a little bigger in the mirrors here, and Nico Garcia looking to get to the front.
It'll be a long 30 laps for Stafford to hold off Nico Garcia, but obviously with Garcia pushing in tires, you know, he's going to have to, I think, maybe just chill for a little bit and let the tires relax before he makes his move.
Back from Bronson Stafford, and as long as he sees that 88 in his mirror, that's all he wants for the rest of this race. But it's going to be a long time, and he's going to have to hold off Nico Garcia as Garcia gets a good run off the corner, which is not good enough. This is a track where you really kind of have to set up your pass. You need some opportunity to get good grip for yourself, but you also need a bit of a mistake sometimes from your competitors. But here's a big move by the 88 and the 61 into the wall, and just as we talked about, a little help from grip, a little help from your competitor, and right on by goes the 88 of Nico Garcia. Not too far behind in 3rd place is the 9 of Shane Therian. Don't count him out just yet. He'd love to get up there and get in the mix for this win yet as well. But he's got to get around the 61. He's got to get around it quickly. He doesn't want to see that 88 scamper off in the distance.
Man, that could quickly happen. Just how quick can he get by a 61?
Already going to go to the inside, try and make the move here on Stafford. He's certainly got newer tires compared to Stafford. as he's going to go to the inside. About 8 lap newer tires, going to try and use them up as much as possible, the tires and Stafford for that matter, as a little bit of a pick move there attempted by Stafford. As they're going to go 3 wide, and it's,
yellow flag is out.
I was going to say, it's got to be close to a yellow, and it will end up being yellow there, as you've seen it again live. We caught a lot of these wrecks here tonight right on camera. This time, Dan Phelps tried to keep that low coming off the corner as one of the lap cars, and just gets tangled up by these 2 cars side by side off the corner. You see it right here, a bit of a pick move. They go 3 wide, and I think Phelps just maybe coming out of the pits trying to get going there. Actually, no, Phelps was not in the pits, but you see him down low, and there's just only so much room here at Bristol. The 9 and the 61 get together. And I think this may not be necessarily a bad thing for the 61 if he's got a set of tires in the pits yet. But it looks like, again, track position means more. And Stafford's going to stay out there in 3rd place right now. Shane Therian in 4th. Tyler Skosen in 5th. But some more cars coming into pit lane. And Kevin Foster being one of them. And he does have a set of tires. You see that right side going up there. He's going to take at least rights. Looks like he's going to take all 4 and get back out there. So we'll see what the 8 has got in store. But what we got now is we got 10 cars on the lead lap, and Clayton Montgomery is the one that gets the lucky dog for this one. So the top 10 on the lead lap here, as looks like Clayton Montgomery is going to come into the pits and surrender. I'm sorry, not Clayton Montgomery, Shane Therian coming into the pits, surrendering at 4th place. Jimmy, this has been one heck of an eventful race so far, and at the line here, we still got 20 laps to go.
Yeah, 20 laps to go, and you know, obviously, people jump to conclusions really quickly before things happen. And all I gotta say, as a driver, and when you're out there, you try to do the best thing and keep down to a low line and try to stay out of the leader's way. But you can't park it. You can't expect that guy to just do whatever. So you really need to calm down and just kind of relax. Or watch the replay. But they just too fast to jump to conclusions, and everything will be handled as it's supposed to.
Well, we're going to get this thing back under green here, as we're going to double it up one more time. 20 laps to go. It'll be 19 when we get the green flag on the front row. Rico Garcia and AJ Roderick, Bronson Stafford, Tyler Skosen on the 2nd row. Tommy Ryan, Joe Sullivan making up the front 6. Then you got Kevin Foster, Shane Therian, John Nomier, Clayton Montgomery. Your top 10 on the lead lap, as we'll send it back over to Barney to watch this thing get back under green. The pace car peels off. It's in the hands and control of Nico Garcia. He's back on the plow pedal. We're racing again here at Bristol.
Way to go here, green lap on 57 of 175.
And we have 3 wide again, maybe even 4 wide on the... You don't see that too often at Bristol, and Shane Therian thinks better of it, backs out of it, as Bronson Stafford a little bit slower here, and I think Therian may have some new tires on that 9 as he is flying up through this field, and we are going to get another yellow flag, and I think this might have been Alan Elwood on this one as he jumps into the pits. We'll see if we can... That looks like he was already in pit lane. This maybe involve Kelly Pointer on this one. Oh yeah, there it is. A big mix-up that didn't even catch a lot of that on SDK. So we'll take a look back here and see what exactly happened. Looks like Cruz and Thomas getting together, collecting the 11 of John Crane. Kelly Pointer gets shot down to the inside here. Hard impact for the 75. Somehow, John Nomier makes it through there. Matt Crockett, again, wrong place at the wrong time as a 10 gets involved. See the hood there of the 11 was off, and it just snapped back on there. But this certainly involved a few cars here, some heavy hitters, and some cars getting towed back to pit lane here as well. Not sure exactly what happened to Alan Elwood here before all this went down. as it looks like, I mean, I don't see that he blew another engine, but I'm thinking he may have thought that he wasn't going to get up any more positions, so decided to bring the 5 down into pit lane. But this is going to shake things up here once again, and got some interesting storylines here, as we got Nico Garcia, who's looked like he's got the fastest car on the track here for most of the race, led a bunch of laps early on, worked his way now finally all the way back up to the lead. But he's got the fan favorite out there, Kevin Foster, in second place. And Foster has got just, 41 lap newer tires than the 88 right now. So give me 41 laps. I think that's a pretty good amount.
Yeah, it's almost like Garcia is a sitting duck.
I mean, Kevin Foster's certainly in what I would consider the best position possible, other than Nico Garcia right now being in the lead. Never know how this thing ends out if we get enough green before we get another caution here, but we're going to double it up here as Nico Garcia, Kevin Foster on the front row, AJ Roderick in third. Tommy Ryan has got fresh tires as well, so certainly don't count out that 66. He's going to be right on the back bumper, I'm sure, of that 8 pushing him along. Shane Therian has got new tires as well in fifth. It's not just going to be a walk away if Foster can get around to that 88 quick enough is the question. We're going to get this thing back under green this time by Nico Garcia. Going to control the restart here as the pace car pulls off, and we have got just 14 laps left in this race. A slow start on the inside there from AJ Roderick. It's going to allow that outside line to get going. Foster gets it wound up tight, and he's going to drive down the backstretch and dive to the inside. And you see how sticky and lovely those new tires are. The 8 of Foster, not clear just yet, and he needs to get clear quickly in case a caution comes out. Nico Garcia into the wall, and that's going to take out Tommy Ryan. Somehow we are not going to get a caution flag on that one. But Tommy Ryan is going to get a big impact on that one. He's going to have to take it to pit lane. Foster out in the lead. Shane Therian is going to clear Nico Garcia and move into second place. And look who is back up in the mix. The 7 of Clayton Montgomery. Joe Sullivan right there giving him a little shove as, man, fastest lap of the race ran that last lap by Kevin Foster and Shane Therian, a 14.91 as they're both trying to run away from the field. Nico Garcia looked to be the dominant car, looked to be able to go on to another win. Now is just trying to hang on to the top 5.
Yeah, just newer tires are king there. There's no doubt about it. And obviously with all the cautions and things that happened tonight, having them tires towards the end pays off. So right now, Kevin Foster looking for a win here late as we're on lap 168 of 175. So it's Kevin Foster, Montgomery, Therian, Sullivan, Garcia, Roderick, Scozen, Stafford, Stoneman, and Ryan for your top 10.
Yeah, even though this thing is clicking on by, it is it's not over by any means. This thing is still got a long bit of racing to go, even though it's down to 6 laps to go. Here is Foster up into the wall. Can't do that too often. It's going to allow his competitors to reel him in just a little bit as Montgomery is now the one in second, and he's going to be even closer. We got another caution on the track, and this one looks like it might be another pretty big one here towards the back of the pack. And yeah, cars turned sideways, turned around. Try and take a look and see what may have brought this one out. Looks like Van Westen in the back of Cruz. He spins sideways. The 50 gets involved. The 85. These gets sent around. The 25, the 39, the 218 involved. Ryan gets on by right there as Cruz just trying to get out the way, but you see that front right is kind of locked into place. But that is a pretty big one here at the end, and I don't think that's at all what Kevin Foster wanted to see on this one. It's going to bunch everybody back up. It's going to take us to a green-white checkered here, and he's going to be the control car, but man, he had a bit of a gap there and maybe was going to be able to hold off everybody to the end. Now he's going to have to work for it, and why not? Why not make him sweat just a little bit more? I mean, it's been a little bit since we've seen Kevin Foster in victory lane, but certainly I know he's a fan favorite out there for everyone, and I know everyone is rooting him on. Would love to see him get a win. I'm sure he's gonna be happy with wherever he gets, but you know he's gonna be digging and trying to get that win back under his belt. It's been a little bit since we've seen the 8, let alone the fact of being able to talk to him. So
right, it's been a while.
Yeah, I mean we'll see what happens here, but again, it's going to be green, white, checkered here at Bristol. It kind of felt like it was going to happen. We had a little glimpse there, nice little green flag run in the middle of this race, but it gets a little rough and dusty at the end of this thing, and it's exactly what we're going to see here now. We'll see. You see Kevin Foster right now running up in that top line, but I would not be surprised if he decides to take that top line for the restart here. It can sometimes be a little bit more grip there on the restarts, and with the pace car lights going out, that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to take that top line. He's going to put Clayton Montgomery on the inside. He's got Shane Therian and Joe Sullivan behind him in third and fourth. They're on fresh tires as well. Nico Garcia is the first one that doesn't have fresh tires, along with AJ Roderick back here in fifth and sixth. Tyler Skozen back here in seventh place. Bronson Stafford in eighth. Jack Stoneman, Tommy Ryan, Jeff Ryan for your top 11, but it's going to be in control from the outside with Kevin Foster. The pace car dives in, and big time on the loud pedal here from Kevin Foster, trying to run away with this thing. Green, white checkered here at Bristol. Just a few races left until we go to the playoffs. Can Foster secure himself a win before this thing is over? White flag in the air one more time around. Foster leads him into turn number one. Sullivan trying to get the second, scraping the wall a little bit as he battles with Clayton Montgomery. This is going to give an opportunity for Foster to dive it off into 3 and 4. Clayton Montgomery gives it everything he can. Not going to happen. Kevin Foster back in victory lane.
Big battle back there for P3.
It's a parking lot in turn number one.
Yeah.
As it was almost 3 wide coming to the line, as Montgomery is going to get second. Joe Sullivan in third. Shane Therian and Jack Stoneman for your top 5. So a good battle back from a couple of those guys. We'll show you that battle here real quickly as Sullivan and Montgomery put on a heck of a battle, and Sullivan tried to do everything he could on that outside, side by side down the backstretch. Into turn number 3, Sullivan gets into the wall a little bit, trying to use up everything he can. I'm sorry, this is the backstretch here, and then into 3. Montgomery gets a little loose, gives one more opportunity to the 76. The 76 gets tagged there a little bit by the 9, but I don't think he was going to be able to get fully past the 7 anyway, but heck of a run there, heck of a battle. Ooh, Jimmy, I'm going to need to catch my breath, and while I do, why don't you give us a rundown of this full 27 car field?
All right, quick rundown of the field here tonight as they finish up here at Bristol. Very filled with some mistakes and much heated tempers, I'm sure, are flying, as they'll be able to go back and watch the replays and cool down, go get themselves a drink of water. We're going to be talking to Kevin Foster, Clayton Montgomery, and Joe Sullivan as they go 1, 2, 3. Then you have Shane Therian, Jack Stoneman, AJ Roderick, Nico Garcia, Bronson Stafford, Tommy Ryan, Tyler Skozen for your top 10. Then Jeff Ryan, Josh Van Weston, Joseph Thomas, Tyler Bramble, Justin Munsell, John Nobinger, Dan Phelps, and Kelly Pointer will round out your top 18. And the rest of the field here will be back in 19th. Will be Matt Crockett, Joey Cruz in 20th, John Crane 21st, Matt Deason in 22nd, Alan Elwood in 23rd, and Jeremy Gainey in 24th, Dalton Drummond's in 25th, Tater Bowman finishes in 26th, Luis Urbina back there in 27th, and Jason Higginbotham will be at the bottom in peanut number 28.
Take a look at this one more time as we're waiting for everyone to get into the waiting room. We'll show you one more time, and we'll show you from the cockpit here of Joe Sullivan as show you the restart here, and a great restart on the outside from
down the standings.
Yep, getting it right now for both the 8 and the 76 as Sullivan tried everything he could to get up there. You'll see the white flag in the air. And Sullivan used every bit of the track and then some, a little bit of the wall, trying to battle for second place. But he's going to see Kevin Foster walk away with this one. You see, you know, kind of how little these drivers actually see from their point of view. Granted, you're seeing it as a single monitor. Some of these drivers running triples, some of them running VR, so you can see a little bit more than what's going on here. But Kevin Foster walks away with this one, a winner. And man, it's been quite some time since we've seen that 8 in victory lane, let alone be able to talk to him just as a podium finisher here. But top gold member here tonight, and he gets it done. We'll have to try and bring him in as late as possible to let him catch his breath. Let him, you know, maybe he probably not even going to have a voice by the time we get to him. But we'll go ahead and see who we got. We got our drivers here ready to go. So we got one of them. We'll have to physically drag these guys around here and get them into the waiting room. But heck of a race here, Jimmy. I mean, Bristol, it can be exactly what it was here tonight. It can be, you know, a little bit rough around the edges here. It's a short track. It's what happens. I mean, there's only so much you can do sometimes. But, I mean, ultimately, I think a lot of the cautions in the beginning were just some greasy tires in turn number 4, causing quite a few incidents. We had some net code to get involved in here. So, you know, ultimately, I don't really think it was that bad of a race wreck-wise. It wasn't people just out there driving like idiots.
Not from what we can see. Obviously, we get a little more detail later on.
Listen, we seen everything on camera. It seemed like every wreck we caught live. So.
Yeah, most of them, obviously, cars break them loose, you know. So we'll go back and fine-tune the cone and see who did what and come to a conclusion as all the great items here at Core do. But you know, it's a tricky track, and any short tracks bring. Everybody out here that does this for fun, I mean, they're competitive, so you want to win. You want to get the best finish possible, and you're trying to get every real estate, and you're thinking you're performing the best you can, and hopefully you didn't make a mistake. You don't want to be that guy and be like, oh, that wasn't me, and then go back and watch a replay and be like, oh, yeah, it was me. So, you know, you gotta just be careful, you know, just kind of take your time, and you know, if say apology, you know, whatever, it's a blanket apology, and then look at it afterwards. I mean, so you can sit down and kind of look back at it a little bit, reflect on the race. And I know people are out here to be competitive, and they try to do their best, and people aren't perfect. That's all, you know, we're hobbyists, and you know, we're not out here, we're not professional drivers. So, but definitely, you know, everybody tries their best, and that's all we can ask. And you know, when somebody has a mistake, they own up to it. But that's short track racing for you. You have to have some thick skin. I'll tell you that. I was you go and visit some officials out there, and well, they are the most lively people that I've ever heard. And most of the time, I take my take the radio button off, so I can't reply because I'm very fluent in some of the vulgar language. I try to keep it at a very, 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 very minimum here and CRN, but. Definitely a good showing, I think, here. There's like a lot of good spurts of racing and battling, and people doing what they can to, you know, go 2 wide, looking to go 3 wide, see some backing out, you know, and then, you know, obviously just trying to find that grip in that car, trying to find the limits. So concrete's tricky, and with the weather and air and tire all changing all night long, it can really sum things up as, you know, just a very, very difficult task, and it's more difficult than just turning left. So, and if you think it's that easy, I challenge you to come out and try it. I know how difficult it is, but looking forward to talking to our podium winners. Congratulations, and thank you all the drivers that came out. As frustrating as short tracks can be, you now feel my pain. But definitely looking forward to the people that finished well here tonight, and looking forward to moving to next week.
All right, well, let's not waste any more time. We'll get right to our interviews here. We got our top 3. Third place here tonight is going to be the 76 of Joe Sullivan. Joe, new tires, right time, right there at the end of the race. You got to mix it up with these boys up there for the win. You get yourself a podium. You battled like hell to try and get that second place. I mean, do you feel like if you could have maybe had a few more laps, if you could have gotten around Clayton a little bit quicker, a little bit easier, maybe you would have had a chance at this win? Or are you just damn happy to be up here talking to us in the podium?
I'm fucking so thrilled right now, Carl. I mean, just to get a podium and get an interview and get to talk to you guys. I mean, this series is tough. I mean, there's so many good drivers in this thing, and just to be able to get up here and get a podium, we had some got turned there in the first of the race and had to use our fast repair. So I just kind of chilled at the back and waited for my moment. Kind of had a game plan coming into this and kind of executed it, a little bit, despite the having to use the early fast repair. But yeah. A couple more laps, I think I could have cleared Clayton there, but like I told him, I was like, we could have crashed there, and I would have been just fine with it. Like, we were racing hard and racing, that's what it's all about, especially here at Bristol,
Yeah, I mean, you definitely had to use a fast repair pretty early on in the race, and it's never fun to do at any track, but especially at a track like this where you're just kind of waiting to come around a corner and all of a sudden a car is sideways in front of you and wipes you out, and your race is done on lap 20, let alone making it all the way to the end here. So how nerve-wracking was it knowing that fast repair is already burnt and you had to run the rest of the race without it?
I was hovering over the brake pedal, just waiting for that moment to do that. And I think I checked up too hard at one point, and I think Joe got into the back of me and spun me, and luckily I kept it off the wall there. We did get a little bit of rear end damage, but we got it fixed and was okay. So, but yeah, you're super cautious there. That's why I kind of just rode in the back and didn't, try to run through the field because, one little mistake like that, and I'm sitting in the garage and done for the day.
Well, listen, you got to talk to us, and this time not on the clock. You get to do it for doing well out there on the track. So before we let you go, get out of here. Congratulations on the podium. Who do you want to give a shout out to on that number 76 here tonight?
First of all, I'll give a shout out to you guys up there in the booth. Definitely can't wait to go back and watch this one. I watched last year's race today, kind of getting prepared for tonight, and I'll watch this one tomorrow and enjoy it. And shout out to my wife, my kids, everybody watching, my sister, Jack Pike, all my regulars, and my father-in-law's business, Max Auction on the hood there, and my wife's business, Skylar Sullivan, marketing and design. And shout out to Alan Elwood for this beautiful car on the screen there. So that's awesome. Thank you, Alan, for that. And thank everybody here at Core, man. It's awesome. Like, we'll see. I doubt I'll be talking to you next week, but maybe at Talladega. We'll see what happens there.
I mean, listen, if you can make it through at Bristol, you can make it through at Talladega, that's for sure. So we'll let you go, get out of here, and go have yourself a drink and celebrate this one. So congrats on the podium here
definitely
tonight. We'll catch you soon.
All right, thanks, Carl.
That's your third place finisher here tonight, the 76 of Joe Sullivan. Second place here tonight, Jimmy, is going to be the 7 of Clayton Montgomery.
Hey, Clayton, Jimmy, and Carl in Booth County.
Yeah, I got you.
A rough one here tonight is probably full of a few more cautions than you would like, but definitely had a chance there for the win. Obviously, tires coming into a big play there at the end. Most short tracks are, so it's like who can save that last set of tires for the right moment. But you walk away here with a second place finish. And you pretty much ran up front most of the evening. So give us a little rundown on what maybe you could have done a little bit different to gain yourself that one more spot there on the top.
Yeah, I mean, started with a surprising pole. Wasn't expecting that. And then when Alan blew up right in front of me, I didn't have any time to react or anywhere to go, and it gave me the same damage he had, because a few laps later, I was running about 300 and it was flashing red, so I had to run the bottom to try to hope for a caution. That didn't come out, and then I got 2 laps down and just kind of got stuck back there. But at the time, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get stuck back here laps down. And then it all worked out there. And then that last caution that I pitted was like 15, 20 to go. I knew I had that last set, and I figured if I could get a caution, that was probably about the perfect time for me to get those tires. And then got back towards the front and got lucky with some brakes. And then I didn't have that last caution. I really think I could have won it. I felt once I got around Shane, I felt I was catching Foster pretty quick, and I could tell he was bouncing off the wall, so I feel like he was pushing a little bit more, and I feel like I could just get close to him and kind of put some pressure onto him. I would have been able to get around him.
Yeah, I'm definitely watching. When I was watching you guys coming down the end, definitely I could almost feel Foster's intensity to take it here tonight and push it as hard as he could to walk away win. It's been a long time since Kevin Foster's been up front and not only to get on the podium but a win. Obviously, it's good to see everybody do well, and some people get a chance to rise to the top. Again, or however long ago it might have been, but you've been doing it pretty consistently here. Getting these good finishes. If I'm not mistaken, Carl, he's one of the ones locked in for the playoffs, right?
Yep, in the platinum.
Yep. So as a platinum driver, you're locked into the playoffs, and I'm sure you're got a bigger goal in these next few races are just to kind of pad your stats or maybe get some extra points going into the playoffs. But I wanted to say congratulations. Definitely a hard race here tonight. Better luck than some, and I guess than others had those rough breaks. I couldn't imagine. I was surprised to see Alan blow a motor by tapping the side of the wall.
No, he had. He got damaged on the front end early in the race.
Oh, okay. So that makes a little more sense. A little feedback there on Alan, but having a blown motor, and I was surprised. I was like, I thought maybe it was because it looked like he brushed the wall earlier. I'm like, did that give him a blown motor?
I was just as surprised as you because I had no time to react.
I was like dying. He just almost like he hit the brakes in the middle of the straightaway. But yeah, I mean, it's good to have you up here. Obviously, I want to get to talk to you, but. Again, congratulations, and we'll give you some time for any shouts on that car.
Thank you. Yeah, give a shout out to the team, ED, everybody on it, Stemrat Market, Roderick, Racing Development, and VRS for coming on board, and you guys for doing this every week.
All right, buddy. Again, congratulations, and we'll get you to go celebrate with your friends and family.
All right, thank you. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
That is your second place finisher here tonight, the 7 of Clayton Montgomery. I think we'll go ahead and wrap up the interviews now. I don't think we really need to talk to anybody else here tonight, but nope. I think it should be good. So we'll see everybody out there. Now we're just kidding, everybody. We know everyone out there wants to talk to this last person, and that is going to be your winner here tonight.
You would have drove from Texas to your house instead of on fire.
Jimmy wouldn't let me close the broadcast out. He said we got to interview one more person. So I guess we'll bring in you, Kevin. Kind of ho-hum race here tonight.
Speechless.
No, you're not. No
welcome
way.
Back to the booth. I mean, I feel like it's been forever that we got to talk to you as a podium driver, let alone getting a win here in the Core Xfinity Series. I mean, I can imagine you're kind of speechless, and you're probably still trying to come down off the high and trying to get the blood pressure down, because those last couple laps could not have been easy. I mean, you saved those tires for the right time, but you still had to get it done.
Yes. Saved the right time, came in, and I was thankful he was coming before the last caution came out. He was going to run me down and pass me, and I was going to do everything I can to block him, wreck him, do whatever I got to do to get the win. Don't get me wrong, Clayton. But when the caution came out, I was like, that's the best thing that can happen for me. And Joe was my Joseph was back there. He was my coach tonight, and so we got there. We got to the Geico restart zone, and I was like, "Go!" And I don't think I took a breath those last 2 laps. And man, Carl, I don't know if you made this setup. Have you driven this setup in this condition?
I have not. I have not.
Phenomenal. Whatever was broken with this car is fixed tonight. The car stuck. It was on rails.
It was definitely an up and down race for a lot of drivers out there, and you seem to avoid most of the incidents there, if not all of them. I mean, what was kind of going on through your head early on in this race? Bristol can certainly be the way it was here tonight with quite a few cautions here. I mean, a lot of them were just kind of 1 or 2 cars involved, but did have a couple that mixed up quite a few. So what was it from your perspective out there?
For my, I started 4th and I fell back to like 7th, 8th, and I found a good spot to ride in, because I didn't want to push and, wear the right front out because I hadn't don't know what it's going to do in the long run. So I was just back there just chilling in a spot where I'm comfortable. I can run decent lap times, save tires, and then they were wrecking in front of me, behind me. I was just always out of the danger zone. And it seems like, several other drivers that were in the chat there, just got caught up like in everything. And I was like, guys, calm down. I know the feeling. Trust me. I've been involved in 80% of the wrecks this season, it seems like. And I have a lot to be thankful for.
Well, you got to be thankful for this win out here. Again, you had the tires at the right time, but I guess you got the timely caution there at the end. I mean, it's kind of tough when you're out there running at the end, that at least from the commentator side of it, to try and figure out, did he actually want this last caution here? But it sounds like you were probably happy that you maybe got a chance to even catch your breath there a little bit. You chose the outside line, and I assume that that is what you wanted to do because of Joe Sullivan then being behind you, and you guys can kind of dictate that restart a little bit.
Well, the big thing is my car, because I a lot of people now, I use a lot of brake in it. So, I dive it deeper in the corner, stab the brake, and I have so much rear brake, I couldn't get all the rear brake out of it. So it was loose on the bottom. So I couldn't get it I couldn't get entry on the bottoms, where up top, I can just float it in there and be done. So that's why I was like, I got to take the top. And then luckily Joe was behind me, and Carl, you have no idea the past 3 months mentally what I've gone through, like at work and everything, and
exactly.
Just life stuff, and just what I mean. And a few weeks ago, the blow up, and just
Well, I mean, you look at the results. You've been at every race so far this season. You've been at all 12 coming into tonight. 0 top 10s, let alone top 5. 0 top 10s. I mean, it had to have been a stressful season. And all that being said, you came in here tonight so far behind in points that it seemed like it was going to take a Herculean effort for you to get back up into the points race. I mean, you were 92 points behind the bubble line. All of a sudden, you're locked in.
For real?
Yeah, a win gets you in with with perfect attendance. So, I mean, you go from 196 behind the leader and 92 behind the cut line. All of a sudden, this win gets you into the playoffs. I mean, obviously, it's a shock to you, just like the win here tonight, probably. But
yes.
I mean, what does that mean to you?
Well, getting back up, couple seasons ago, I was defending back-to-back champion, and then, last season, I don't know what happened, and the first 10 races of this season were terrible. Last week, actually, thank you for calling that race last week. 8 car in the lead. Hadn't said that very much this season, but just being in a better mental state. And look, the last 2 weeks I ran better, and I told John, I was like, all I got to do is win the next 3 races, and I might have a chance to make it into the playoffs. And then, lo and behold, I come out here and do it. So.
Yeah, and now you realize all you had to do was just win one and get you into the playoffs. So
hell no, this feels too good.
Well, I mean, we got a couple tricky ones here yet coming up before the end of the regular season. Obviously, kind of in the middle of the gauntlet right now between Darlington last week. You got Bristol tonight, but then Rockingham and Talladega for the next 2 races. So, what are your thoughts on those last 2? I mean, obviously Talladega, kind of a toss-up. You have to be in the right spot, the right time there. But Rockingham next week, bit of a rough track.
Rough track, but got a decent track record. We ran the 87s there, and through the core series, we've ran a few races there. I love the track. Hopefully, put a few laps in this week. Hopefully, see what the right front wear is. But it's definitely a driver's track, and if you're not careful with those bumps and get crossed up off of 2, it'll reach out and bite you. And the rock, stands for hard walls, because you will definitely be on the inside wall.
Well, listen, we know Tyler Scozen's got a bunch of fans out there, but you've been pretty much a fan favorite for quite a long time here in core, and you've obviously got Barry out there, you got Missy, Tilfer was out there rooting you on, of course, Mama Kelly out there, certainly, she's loving this. Sorry I couldn't be out there on the track with you to do our celebratory, nose to nose burnouts, but heck of a win out here tonight. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to in that 8 car?
First off, thank you to my wife for just being my rock and always sticking by my side and let me do what I love. Family, friends, all the guys in the Core Racing League, you guys for broadcasting it. Barry, thank you. It's like reliving my childhood dream all over again, and hope to be here a little more often going forward.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, this is it's not easy winning anymore in the Core Xfinity Series presented by Elwood Designs, but you get it done here tonight. So congrats on the win. Go celebrate. Get yourself ready for the Rock next week, but definitely savor this one here for a little bit.
Well, Hollywood's back, so I'll see you next week.
Absolutely, buddy. That is your winner here tonight, the 8 of Kevin Foster. Want to thank everyone out there again for tuning in to tonight's race, and some great numbers out there, not just on the track, but in the watching room in here and CRN and even in the chat. We love seeing the chat blow up there, and certainly thank you to everyone that tuned in here, and we love to see it, and we know you guys love to see it too. I mean, there was so much racing action out here. We didn't even get to you love to hear it here tonight, but it's so tough. I mean, there's as many cautions as we had. We still had something to talk about the entire time, and that's what these boys here in the Core Xfinity Series put on for us. But once again, thank you to everyone tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that Siren has to offer. Thank you again to Elwood Designs. They've been making custom liveries for the iRacing community since 2012, specializing in the NASCAR class of vehicles. They can offer designs on various other options within the service. If you're looking to make your own livery but don't have the time to make your own base design, you can purchase Elwood Design bases at simrapmarket.com. You can find Elwood Designs online on Facebook or X. That is going to do it for our broadcast tonight. Again, we got Rockingham coming up next week. Going to be a rough one, out there just in terms of the track. It is a rough surface there at Rockingham and very tough to keep that car under control. But we are getting closer to the playoffs. We already had a big upset here tonight as Kevin Foster wins and locks himself in from well below the cut line. So it's that easy that it can happen, and certainly not out of the realm of possibility for other drivers to get themselves in there as well. But man, just so much going on here, and there's only 2 more races before we get to the playoffs. So make sure you tune in to next week. But for myself and Jimmy from the Bristol Motor Speedway, we'll see you at the track.